Hi guys, I'm hanging out in my hammock, and I've been getting so many great messages from you just about wanting to understand more about your cycle and wanting to know what you could do during each phase. So I figured that a good start would be to kind of explore what's happening in each phase, or what should be happening and what needs to happen during each phase of your cycle for fertility and pregnancy to occur. So we'll start with, so the phases, these are the Chinese medicine phases, like the energetic or the element of what's happening. In Western medicine, it's combined, it's split into mostly the follicular phase and the luteal phase. So the follicular phase is the first half of your cycle when the follicles are developing, and the luteal phase is post-ovulation when implantation is occurring. So basically the second half of your cycle. But in Chinese medicine, we actually divide it into 4 phases. And that would be the blood phase when you're bleeding. That has to do with the metal element, letting go. The second phase would be the yin phase. This is more of like the follicular phase when your follicles are developing. And this is a more watery element, like about reception and nourishing. Then the third phase is the qi phase. Has more to do with wood energy, moving, that burst of energy needed for ovulation to occur. And then the fourth phase is the yang, or the fire phase, which is about warming, more progesterone dominant, implantation also. So basically, the goal of this medicine and the goal of all of my products and all of my all of the support and the resources I'm giving you is to help bring your body into the energetic of the element that's needed during each phase. So that's a really good place to start. And if you want to learn more about that, I have blogs, pretty much a few blog posts on each phase of your cycle. So kind of giving you tips and recommendations for what you can do to help bring your body more kind of resonating with the energy and the frequency of the element that's needed. But I'll try to give you a few little tips here. So for the blood phase, obviously you're bleeding. The goal is to help your uterus move and shed as much blood as possible so that you're not holding on to any like stagnant blood, that you're really releasing everything. If this phase tends to be an issue for you and letting go and the metal element tends to be an issue, you might have some issues with cramping, endometriosis, fibroids, really bad PMS, almost like your body's just holding on and it's not letting go. The metal element is also related to the lungs and the large intestine. So this also has a lot to do with letting go, like defecation, you're letting go of the shit that's not serving you anymore, and also exhalation, like being inspired and also like letting go of what you don't need. So the tools that I give you during this phase have a lot to do with getting energy moving to that area. So the herbs would be more like moving, invigorating herbs. Nettles are really good. Things that are more kind of blood moving. My Bitches Brew Tea is the one that I recommend for this phase of your cycle, and that has a lot of really moving herbs, both qi and blood moving, also that support the liver and detoxifying, because the liver has a lot to do with this phase, like how stagnant it is. I also recommend like dry brushing and womb massage during this phase, really just encouraging energy moving so that you can release everything. The next phase, it's a really different energy, and this is when your follicles are developing, and that's the yin phase. And the water element is the one that's more associated with this phase, and this is more like just like receptivity and really nourishing and nurturing your body, really feeding yourself and nurturing yourself well, not just like food-wise and sustenance, but also like emotionally. You want to be resourced during this phase so that you have everything you need to grow healthy follicles. If you're really stressed and your cortisol levels are all over the place, your follicle growth won't be steady. It'll be kind of like surging and all over the place. So this is a more estrogen heavy cycle, and you want to really be feeding yourself like healthy fats and restorative type yoga. The things that I recommend during this phase are really like nurturing, like meditation or my baths. The bath soak would be like the Fertile Mama. The tea that I recommend during this time is my Fertile Mama tea, and this is much more like nurturing and substantive. Like it has goji berries and kind of more like dense, heavy herbs, raspberry leaf that are really nurturing as opposed to moving and energizing. The third phase is the chi phase, and this is another moving phase similar to the blood phase. Whereas the blood is more like letting go and releasing, the chi phase is more like outward moving, forward moving. There is a bee right by my phone on my hand. It didn't sting me. But yay, it's bee season. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. That must mean it's spring. So yeah, during the chi phase, we want to move your energy, but this is less like the exhale, the release, the letting go, and more like the brisk walk, the vinyasa yoga, the moving. So this has a lot to do with the wood element, which has to do with liver energy, which is kind of like, yeah, like that breath I just took, like that was a release, but also like just moving forward and having kind of tenacity and determination to do what you need to do. And oftentimes our energy can get stuck, whether we're stressed or agitated or whenever we're stressed about anything, our cortisol levels get messed up and our chi energy, like our liver energy, can get kind of stagnant. And often when there's that stagnation, then we might get late ovulation or like kind of an ineffective ovulation. This is where like we might have an ectopic pregnancies, like that burst of energy is not enough. So often if this phase is affected, we might have polycystic ovarian syndrome. We might also have like cysts. So it's important to kind of move and detoxify the liver during this phase. And actually this phase is really important, which is why I often recommend an entire month of my detox tea to really support the liver, because the liver is really involved in so much of fertility and the reproductive health. So things that do this, my Fertile Moon tea is the one I recommend during this phase, and it has more moving, also energizing herbs like nettle and dandelion and milk thistle, things that really support the liver. Also during this phase, like brisk walking is really important. Definitely not having dairy, ideally not during any part of your cycle, but especially during this phase, especially if ovulation is an issue. And then the last phase, the yang phase, the luteal phase, the fire phase, it has a lot to do with warmth and keeping our energy warm, but I really like to focus during this phase on the connection between our heart and our womb. So if you think about your heart's fire, like things that make you feel joyful, like love, and a lot of times when women are trying to conceive, they kind of lose the joy in life and stuff. It's like such a focus on not getting pregnant and what to do and worry that we kind of stop doing the things that really make us come alive. So I encourage you during this whole time to really continue to do the things that make you feel joyful, like what sparks your creativity, and then sit with bringing that energy, that fire energy from your heart down into your womb. Like you can almost visualize this kind of warmth connecting the two. And also supporting your body during this time with actual warming things like moxa, which is on my website. It's like a warming stick. Warming foods. My womb warming tea is the one I recommend. It has a lot of womb warming herbs in there, like cinnamon and fennel, and you could add like chai spices to your chai, make a chai, that'd be great. I love my tea because it's got all that good warming stuff in it. But just really doing warming things during this phase, like warming baths. The womb warming oil that I have is really good if you're doing the womb massage regularly. I think that's all I could think about for now, but hopefully that's a good start for you guys to just start understanding what's happening during each phase, and definitely head over to my blogs for more information on other techniques and things you could do during each phase. Hopefully that helped you out for today, and definitely reach out in the comments and let me know what else I can answer, what else I can support you with, what other questions you have, because that's really helpful to know where to go with these videos. All right, hope you guys are all doing well. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.